On this week's show, we're discussing our most anticipated games of 2026, The Witcher 3 is getting an expansion a decade later, and why 007 First Light's delay is actually a good thing. All that and much, much more on this week's GamerGuild Podcast. Good game, everyone, and welcome back to the GamerGuild Podcast, your weekly show where we round up all the week's video game stories and news for your listening or viewing pleasure right here on youtube.com/GamerGuildTV and up there in the digital clouds on your podcast preference of choice. Your podcast players for this week are myself, Mr. Richie, and the Arcane Rogue, Mr. Chris. Happy New Year, Chris.
Happy New Year.
And
Even though
Happy
we
New
said
Year,
Happy
everyone.
New Year on last week's show, it's the first recording of our year.
Yes,
as well.
So yeah, you get Happy New Year twice from us. You lucky bastards.
2 New Years. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been, we've had 2 weeks off, 2 week break, give or take.
Yeah, roughly since we last recorded, so it might be a bit rusty today.
Yeah, we did our Game of the Year episode. We did our last one with all the news, so here we are in 2026.
Exactly,
Which is
yeah.
wild to say out loud.
Maybe a bit rusty,
looking
but I
forward to it.
feel nice and rested and rejuvenated after a bit of time off work.
Good. It's always what it's worth.
Well, yeah, I think
everyone.
I think the back end of last year, I was just very much eyeing up my Christmas break and like, just get to that, just get to it. Like, you know, when you just like as the year goes on, you start feeling a bit burnt out. Just not so much with the podcast, with my actual job. Mm-hmm. And so it was nice to actually have a couple of days where I could just sit down and play games all day and not have to care about the world.
That's a good place to be. Hopefully our audience had some time to chill, play games, and have fun with their loved ones. As we kickstart off, any resolutions for the year ahead?
Just going to try and...
that kind of guy? Not
really, but I mean, I've been talking about trying to just be a bit healthier this year in general. Mm. But then it's like, well, we might as well just wait till the new year because it's basically impossible over Christmas.
Oh, so absolutely.
I noticed we've got a few photos when we're out on New Year's. I looked at the photos for me in New Year's 2025 and New Year's 2024, and I've definitely put on a bit of weight. So I was like, I need to trim it a little bit.
And now our metabolisms aren't getting any quicker, are they?
Yeah, but there's like habits I can get back into quite easily, like walking to work again, because it's only a 10-minute walk, but I end up driving, and it takes almost 10 minutes to drive.
Well, there is a snow blizzard outside at the moment, so walking's possibly easier.
Within reason. Within reason. But if the weather's like terrible, obviously I'm not going to walk. But if it's just cold, then there's no reason not to. I own a jacket.
That's good to know. Good to know. I think similar on my front. It's just like eat healthy. I've made a kind of stuck my flag in the ground this year and said I really need to just like cut out energy drinks. Like I don't really need them as much as I think in my own mind I rely on them. So like let's just draw a line. And I know sometimes resolutions you can start them whenever, but I always think at the start of a new calendar year, it's a really good just like draw a line point of going right. It's new year, new me. You can always try harder.
I always do have the thoughts like, you shouldn't just wait for like the new year to start, but then also the Christmas period is like, why bother trying when there's just going to be nice food and drinks and stuff all over the place? It's like you're not at work, so your sleeping habits are all over the place a bit as well. You're not waking up the same time every day. You're just waking up whenever you get your ass out of bed. Yeah. So it's like,
and you're already eating so much crap and rich like sugary food and stuff anyway.
And you don't want to be that guy who turns up at a relative's house and offer you a bit of cake and go, oh no, I can't, I'm on a diet over Christmas. Like, oh fuck it, January.
Just a glass of water, please.
I'll have a glass of water, and if you have some lettuce, I'll have that.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't drink that much over Christmas. Actually,
I didn't.
All things said and done. I think because I was driving between families' homes and had the little one, it was just like, I'm not bothered. I was like, I could go for a couple, but I was like, I'm just not bothered. So I had some non-alcoholic stuff and just some good old Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to be back in just a second. The cat is meowing.
The cat is meowing, everyone. This is the first official meow of 2026. It's got its head stuck in a cat climbing frame, I'm going to guess. Or something otherwise. But I'll keep vamping. What could I talk about? So I spent my Christmas getting injured, which is always fun. Me and Richie play football every Monday night, and I thought I'd end 2025 by dislocating my shoulder.
Oh, how is your shoulder anyway?
It's fine. It's like I've got like motion it. Although the other day I can't even lift it actually to show you. I don't know if you can see the bruising started to show up around my bicep and round the back. So almost like 5-6 days later as well. Such delayed bruising. It was weird. But we played football as per usual. Went over the goalkeeper. Got clipped on the way up, jumping over him as he went down, and just sent my body into a tumble. Landed on my shoulder, and just couldn't move it, and then it popped back in at the time. I mean, you saw it from a different perspective.
Yeah, I was fairly close to you, but just like out wide and you up front. And it didn't look like a heavy challenge or anything. It just kind of looked like you fell and just rolled a bit, and then you just didn't get up. It was like, oh, it's actually hurt. Like,
yeah. I generally think in the passage of play, it was the ball had gone, I think, rolled across goal, and I think the speed of it surprised both me and the keeper. And I think both of us thought, oh, it's got past us, and neither of us are getting it. So the keeper went down to get it, but it went past him. I went for just like a tap in on goal, thought it had got past me as well, and then thought, oh, well, let's make our second decisions. And his second decision was to stick an arm out last minute, which I think I was already jumping over him at that point. So I think him sticking his hand out, it's kind of changed the angle of his body, which I think has meant he's either clipped my heels as I've gone over him, which is, I've already been in midair. I can't control where I'm going after that point. And I think that extra little, like, just clip on my momentum is like change where my legs were going. I think that's what sent me into a roll, and I've had to kind of adjust midair with the speed of running in as well. And I think, just landed on my shoulder, but it was already my weakened shoulder from the summer anyway, so sod's law. But lay there, couldn't move it. Everything in my brain, I was telling myself, like, just move your arm a little bit, and like nothing was happening. I was like, that's kind of concerning. Yeah. Everyone stood around me looking down at me on the floor going, you all right? And I'm like, don't think so. But then, when the lad sat me back up, I think he pushed on my left shoulder blade, and it just kind of felt a distinct pop back in. It was like, oh, and then all of a sudden, full motion in my arm again, the feeling come back, and I was like, that's an oddly quick fix from nothing to suddenly everything seemingly is better. But when I got an X-ray, doctor said everything's in the right place. It is just a case of
it's just going to be a bit
that kind of motion back.
It's just going to be a bit sore, and like some of the ligaments and stuff might be a bit stretched because you pop your shoulder out of socket, and you're not meant to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the funniest thing happened while over Christmas me and the wife were going to sit down and watch a movie. Could not open a jar of dip for the life of me. I was like, even with your right arm, it's weird how you twist with the opposite arm and you can almost still feel the tension in the opposite shoulder, like, where it runs right up your body.
Surprisingly, with your shoulders.
I was just trying to hold it in my weak arm and turn. It was like, can't do it. So it was like, so we went dipless over our snacks. But I'm okay. I'm okay. No, she can't.
Oh, is this a case of you didn't let her? Like, that's my job.
No, it is usually the case of like she goes, "Can you open that?" and I'll do it and be the man of the house. But on this instance, neither of us were. So I need to get one of them old people rubber. I guess even with the rubber, it's about the grip, isn't it? It's not about the twist. So who knows? I should have just smashed it on the floor and ate glass and dip.
Do you have any like physio stuff to do to like rebuild the strength or anything?
No, they surprisingly didn't advise much beyond just like regular exercise. Like arm movements and lifting and stuff, but it's putting a slight dampen on me trying to get fitter at the start of this year.
Yeah, it's
very little I can do. But it is my weak hand, so at least in one regard, my strongest arm can double up and help out and stuff. But so what a way to start the year on the injury table. But doesn't stop me gaming though.
True,
that's the good thing.
What have you been gaming, Chris?
Not much. We said a bit before going live recording, but in the hustle and bustle of Christmas and with every intent to play stuff, I said I finished Dispatch before Christmas and I was going to dive into something. So I have started Indiana Jones. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm working my way through like the Vatican at the moment. But pretty much in between time, I just read over Christmas. I read the Jurassic Park novel. I've just started The Lost World now, and that book is so wildly different from the movie. It was such a fun read of just like, I didn't know this happened, and there's parts from the other movies that are in the book and plot lines that are in the book. And
I've never read
certain characters get killed off that don't in the movie. So it's like, it was really interesting just as a page turner to be like, oh, that's interesting how Spielberg took it that way in the movie. And it still obviously worked in the movie. Jurassic Park's one of the best movies of all time. But then to read the book and see like how it differs and how the written word is different from obviously putting it on the silver screen. So I'd highly recommend it. It's not too long of a book, but it was one of those where I think because I knew the characters and the animals in my mind from seeing the movie so many times, it just made the read incredibly fun because I had visuals in my head of like everything, like when they were talking about the park and the gates and Nedry and the computer system. In my head, I could just visualize it all. So I was almost like watching just deleted scenes from the movie in my head when I was reading through it. So yeah, if you've not checked out Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park or The Lost World, highly recommend them.
I can't remember the last time I read a book. Is that bad?
You play games.
Yeah, it's true. I do play a lot of games. Well, not a lot of games. I play as much as I can. Me and Nat did build Lego R2-D2, which is...
Lego R2-D2. How big was he?
He's there, underneath the map of the galaxy.
Are you able to point at him? You see him struggling there.
It's mirrored and I'm watching look at my camera. It's awkward. But yeah. That was actually a Christmas present from me to her. It was one of them I was buying for my nephews, and I just like took a photo in Smith's of like the Lego section and just text her saying I shouldn't be allowed to be here, and she went, "Ooh, that R2-D2 looks awesome." So it's like, when you have that impulse, like, fuck it, buying it.
Yeah, you do realise you need the C-3PO counterpart now.
Yes,
so they can stand together.
Yes, I do. Maybe next year.
Yeah, I was.
They're not cheap.
No, Lego isn't, is it?
Yeah, that one was like £75.
Yeah, my my surprise nerd gift from my wife was one that I think I'd saw it when I was shopping for my daughter and didn't think anything of it and just thought, if I didn't have a child and other dependencies, I'd probably get that as a big nerd. And then, she ended up surprising me with it, so I ended up as the biggest kid I possibly am. I have a 30th anniversary Buzz Lightyear.
That's awesome.
in Chrome for his 30th anniversary. Yeah. But fully in his little spaceship thing with all the same kind of text from the movies on the back. But yeah, never going to open it. But I thought, it's going to sit there. Because I had one as a child, and that was the kind of thing I remember getting one in 1995 when Toy Story launched. Me and my cousin were taking to Disneyland Paris with my grandparents, and we had a great time. But it was when you couldn't get hold of these toys; they were so popular. Yeah. And I had it for years, and the batteries never died on it. That was always the ongoing joke in my family, is that the batteries never ran out. Seemingly, all it was a little LED for his laser. So I'm guessing it probably does last forever. And his soundboard. But yeah, and then eventually as you grow up, you kind of just like the movie,
it disappears.
You pass them on. No, I think we give them to a car boot sale or something for other kids or something like that, or a charity.
Imagine the amount of stuff we had as kids where it'd be you'd love to still have.
Oh yeah, we OG Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
I had as a kid, which would be worth absolute fortune right now.
I bet you're doing that with your daughter. Like any cool stuff you buy for her, you're just going to keep.
I mean, I told myself some of the stuff we've kept the boxes and put them in the loft. Yeah. And I said, just keep the boxes, because if she stops playing with them in the years to come, they'll be worth something. But then I'm like, can I be bothered? Is it really worth it? But yeah, I did throw a few in the loft, because again, we threw them all out as kids.
Not
even games, remember? Yeah. If you had an N64, chances are you threw away the cardboard box, lost the manual, and you just left with a cartridge.
Well, it was back then, even things like CDs. Everyone had a CD binder. You had them sort of binders for everything.
Just get rid of the cases.
Yeah. I had a travel case for N64. I used to put all the games in there, so the boxes just got destroyed and lost.
Yeah, or threw away. Yeah, wherever. So,
another present I got was this.
Personal Funkos.
Yeah,
nice. Does it look like you? Does it have your beard features?
Yeah.
You're really struggling with this mirror thing. Oh, she's gone with the white beard, fittingly as well.
Apparently it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be matching the hair with the grey hair, but it's apparently it was full on white. So I've got my guitar.
Full on Santa Claus.
Got my guitar and 2 kitty cats.
Are you taking it out of the box?
No, I don't think you're meant to, are you? I don't know.
I think if they're personalised, there's probably not much, as harsh as it sounds, there's not much resale value.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's not about resale, but it's our names are on the box as well.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah. I'm not sure. So I'm not in that. I thankfully avoided the bullet of the Funko Pop world many years ago. Yeah. We have a friend who collected them to a point where he had a wall full.
Yeah, he did.
And it was like, wow. And then they started selling them. Well, I think you just get sometimes the hobbies of collecting get beyond you.
I think
if there's no end.
There's too many of them. You'd have to focus on this set. I'm going to get all the Star Wars, even just all the Star Wars Funko Pops will be difficult.
I know. And they keep adding more.
Yeah.
Or variants. Variants are the worst thing for collectors.
Yeah.
It's here's your most prized thing. oh, but he's one with a slightly gold hue to it.
Yeah.
He's one who's wearing a top hat instead.
Because they know how to get you. They know, like, if you're that deep in it, they know you're a whale, aren't you? So, like, they go, if you're that deep, we're going to make a slight variant so you get that one.
Yeah.
And then we're going to discontinue the first generation ones so their price goes up and up and up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Should we do a gaming podcast, Chris?
I mean, we haven't done one in over a year, so it's probably fitting that we get to it.
Well, we do have a great show lined up for you, but before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you keep in the loop with all amazing content here at GamerGuildTV, such as your weekly live stream, Chris, your retro hunt. How's it going?
Yeah, really good. Obviously, I haven't bought anything over Christmas just because of how much the what kind of thing words like Royal Mail and deliveries getting away. I was like, I don't want to be faffing around with like eBay deliveries.
Oh yeah, like,
during this time. So I was like, I'll let people off with it.
Truthfully, I imagine a lot of eBay sellers are quite happy to not be having to nip to the post office this time of year.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought I'll not bother with that one too much. I did get an extra one. So there was the Die Hard Christmas special went up over Christmas, obviously, and there's a new one up for members now, which is they're out of order slightly now because I put the Christmas one up specifically because Die Hard tied in with Christmas. If you're a Guild hero or a member, you can get the Gran Turismo Black Label Retro Hunt available right now, and that'll go up on free feeds soon enough. I think I've got one more, maybe two more in the chamber, and then I'll have to start thinking about actually buying some more. But January's a tough month financially, so
yes, it is.
I maybe won't be in the market too much. But we'll see. You can get some for quite cheap. I know there's a couple of people in our Discord server dropped a couple of recommendations in, so thank you for that. I'll keep my eyes out for those particular versions.
End of December is so easy to spend money when you're getting them last minute Christmas presents and you're going out probably to see family. Like New Year's, I spent over 100 quid on New Year's, just like that.
Oh yeah, it goes. But yeah, so trying to save the pennies. But yeah, if there's any out there, I'll find them. And I guess the Guild Heroes support us in that as well.
They do. Talking about the Guild Heroes supporting us, Chris, I'd like you to introduce us to the
Graciously Gathered GamerGuild Cassette, a.k.a. the news.
And as always, our news is brought to you by wonderful Guild Heroes, which you can join for as little as 99p over on the YouTube channel, which gives you early access to Chris's PlayStation Retro Hunt, where he just got Gran Turismo. Tune in to find out more. But first story of the week, Chris, our most anticipated games of 2026. So I've got a Polygon article up in front of us. How do you want to actually approach this?
Well, the Polygon article kind of just ranks them, but it doesn't give any actual like definitive reason for why. So I would have thought initially chronologically. So I think I've loosely pulled together the biggest names and put them into some kind of calendar year. I think just work through that way. I think the ones I put on the list are the ones that are more pertinent to us and our audience. So if there's any little indie darlings or gems that I've missed, I apologise, but there's a lot of games going to come out in 2026. So I've tried to highlight the top ones kicking things off. So
and if it's anything like last year, there'll be a lot of games that we don't even know about yet that come out this year.
Lots of surprises. We know we've got an Xbox Developer Direct imminent in the next couple of weeks, so there could be a couple of surprises that come with that. That's
going to be an interesting one for me because I'm currently not playing Xbox at all. Like that, as far as I'm concerned at the moment, because I've got rid of Game Pass, that console is just stopped.
Sat there.
Just sat there. I haven't turned it on in ages. I don't have Game Pass. My paid for library is absolutely tiny, so it's just like there'd have to be something big to get me back in.
Yeah. And I'm the same. I think I let mine lapse in December, and because I thought I'm not playing anything. I had Indiana Jones lined up. I had Avatar sat there, both on the PS5. So I thought that's at least 100+ hours, and there's nothing in the pipeline from Xbox. The next big title for me, which we'll get into when we go down the calendar, everything is coming to PlayStation. So
that's how I'm viewing Xbox. I think at the moment, more as a publisher. And play the games on PlayStation, like I did with Oblivion.
Yeah, I'll play Xbox games, but on my PlayStation, which is, I guess, everything's an Xbox now. It'd
have to be an amazing game that I cannot wait. I have to play it day and date to get me to buy it on Xbox at the moment, because I'm just not involved in that ecosystem anymore, and it is down to the Portal. That is the difference for me. So, Resident Evil Requiem, Chris, first on our list.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's first big one. It's, again, I've got this such a weird relationship with Resident Evil, which we've been over on the channel many, many times, but I kind of love the games in the franchise, but I've only played the more recent ones. We've got 2 full playthroughs on the channel, and that just shows that that's how long we've been going. That, like, since the Village launched, we've actually got a brand new game coming out.
Yeah.
Which seems wild, that like that whole development cycle that takes years and years and years. Here we are again on the cusp of another Resident Evil mainline entry. And I've played them, but I haven't been back and played through 2, 3, 4, 5, and obviously 6 since then. So, yeah, there's actually a couple of delays we'll get to in the news as well later on that have actually pushed Resident Evil, I guess, to the forefront in a way, because I think it was clashing a little bit in terms of, I think 007 First Light was initially within maybe a fortnight of each other.
Yeah,
so when you have to start thinking like, oh, will I wrap up Requiem in time because I'm 100% going to want to play Bond.
Resident Evil 27th of Feb. I can't remember when Bond was off the top of my head.
I think it was like 10th of March, so about a 2-week window. And then you don't know what you're going to be busy with. So it's like, oh, maybe I'll hold off on Requiem. I'll play Bond first, and then you never get around to Requiem. And it's like, damn it. I just like, you got to be tactical. Whereas, it's...
That's why I think when I look at Requiem, is like, I'm quite happy to appreciate that game from a distance because I know I'm not going to get round to it. There's other stuff I'd rather be playing. Like, I mean, Control is a game that I do want to play this year because I've only got about 10 hours or something in it. I want to finish that game because Resonant looks awesome. So
yeah,
but so there's stuff like that. There's like where it pushes like Requiem out of like the game, like the list of games that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think last year, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think last year taught me that it's okay to miss things. There was a couple of like PlayStation titles, like not first party, but exclusives, second party deals and stuff that I think in other years I probably would have checked out and enjoyed. But I think last year, whether it was just financial or just time, I was really particular about the ones I spent my hours with.
I've kind of always been like that a bit. I think in the early Stadia days, I was trying to hit everything when we first started the podcast, at least for a few hours. But I quickly, even that first year of doing Sounds of Stadia, I realised that just wasn't going to be viable, even if the games were free. That they just did not have enough time in my week to play everything, while also wanting to play a big title that I want to play, like an Octopath.
Yeah.
So I've always been one for picking my battles. So when in a game, like, I can respect the hell out of, like, Resident Evil Requiem, but it's not something I'm desperate to play. That was me with, though, that happened to me with Hogwarts Legacy, and it happened to me with Expedition 33 in the last few years, where these were games I had my eye on, but wasn't compelled to play until the reviews came out and went, oh shit, I need to play this.
Yeah, we certainly live in an odd world where I think because you can catch stuff, it's just in the peripheral of clips and streamers and just the general reviews. I think because we do cover it weekly, you kind of get the vibe that it's a great game. And I always think like you might not get it now, but I know at some point I'll get to it. It's the same. I think one for me that stands out is always Death Stranding. I will play it one day, and I will probably thoroughly enjoy it and go like, "Wow, this is a great franchise. I can't believe I didn't play this 10 years ago." But I'll get to it because I'm aware of how popular it is and how good it should be and how it will fit into the style of gameplay that I do enjoy. And that's why I'm quite happy to let multiplayer live in its own world, your Battlefields, your Call of Duties, because I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter because Death Stranding, no matter if I wait 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I can go back to it and it will still be that complete Death Stranding experience in a little time capsule for me to play as and when. Whereas Battlefield will be another 7 out since then. Call of Duty will be however many campaigns and season passes, and you're ultimately just blowing shit up. Whereas the stories that are in these single player games, they'll be there for eternity. As long as backwards compatibility and whatnot's there. But Requiem, I'm thoroughly enjoyed. I think I'll probably wrap Indiana Jones up through January. I'll probably jump into, I think, Avatar, depending on how my vibes are at the end of it. I think I'll go back and play Avatar out. And then, when Requiem drops, I think that'll be my kind of big first title for the year. Looks gorgeous. I'm liking the thought of the two protagonists. The Leon being the combat, and the girl's name always eludes me. But the main female in it, her storyline,
Is it Ashley?
I want to say
Grace.
But is Grace the daughter from... Is she the daughter from Village? I feel like I've seen that many trailers now, but I can't piece together. But yeah, the daughter and her mum obviously seemingly dies at the beginning, and then she goes off on... She's the stealthy character, and then Leon's going to be the action, bombastic character, it seems.
Grace Ashcroft.
Grace Ashcroft.
I knew there was Ash there. I got the Ash bit, you got the Grace bit.
There we go, we got that.
Yeah.
But was that Grace from Village then?
Don't
the daughter
think so.
of Ethan...
I think she's a new character.
Rose. She was Rose, right?
Yeah.
The daughter of Rose DLC? That sounds like a thing. I'm sure the comments in our Discord will keep us straight on that one. But yeah, Requiem again, RE Engine looking stunning as always. It's a known quantity, what you get with Resident Evil. The fact that this is the first one that can be played third person at launch, I think is why I'm more hyped, because you know my preferences. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed the last two. However, if I get to choose, I'm always going to lean more towards third person.
I think that's something they're going to do, where they reconceived Resident Evil as a first-person survival horror rather than a third-person survival horror with like Resident Evil 7.
Yeah,
they kept that for Village, but then they went back and added third person and went, oh, people kind of like both. It's like, well, why not in the mainline titles going forward? Just give them both from the beginning. And then it's down to the player how they want to experience it. Do you want the more immersive approach of being first person? Or do you prefer the more actiony approach from zooming out and being third person? Both work.
Yeah, I think it's a great choice. Yeah. And again, you've also got the VR option, which I'm way too much of a coward to ever go down the VR route, but it's phenomenal to think you have AAA horror games in VR, because horror is best in VR.
True. It is. You mentioned Death Stranding. I feel like I'm looking at the list of games coming out this year. It's like, while it's on my list of games I definitely want to play, and I've been talking about it all last year, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to fit it in this year.
No, I don't either. Again, this is why I say maybe in 10 years' time.
Death Stranding's free. When Death Stranding 3 comes out...
I'll spend several months playing through the entire Death Stranding collection.
You've added High on Life 2 to the list, Chris. Where are you at with that?
Yeah, I think High on Life 2 is one of those that's going to very much go under the radar. Sorry, I don't think it needs to exist. Yeah, it seems really harsh.
It's a hard pass for me.
It's like the first one, thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, the type of humour and the comedy I think is definitely in both of our wheelhouses.
I found the humour, though, just in Royland style humour, funny in short bursts, but when it translated to a game, it was too much. After about an hour, I was getting annoyed by the constant joking from my weapons. I was like, can you please just shut the fuck up? Let me play. It was a bit much. That's why I think I only played about 3 or 4 hours. I was just fed up.
Yeah, well, I think your Rick and Morty style comedy is condensed to like a 20-30 minute episode. Yeah,
like Justin Roiland, for the record, not related to this game anymore at all.
No, it's his voice by I guess an impersonator or a voice actor who can replicate it really well, because he took over the show as well, right? Yeah, Rick and Morty and
so he's no longer related to Squanch Games. So I don't think he's got anything to do with Rick and Morty, because there's a lot of controversy, but it's still his style of humour I find grating in long bursts.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of them. It's similar to like a lot of like kind of, I guess, comedy movies of the late 90s, early 2000s, where it's like they're fun, but they don't need sequels. Like there's comedy in there, there's light humour, some dark humour, very loose story threads, but I'm guessing, it's one of those things where is the developer Squanch Games is like they could have just done something new, but I think High on Life, because it did find huge success, it was one of like the standout Game Pass success stories in the early years, and it had that kind of vibe going for it. I think it dropped in like November, didn't it? November, December, around Christmas, and it was like, you know what, this is surprisingly fun, and I guess at the time it was quite refreshing.
Oh yeah,
like we hadn't had a game where like all the weapons were interactive and from an interactive standpoint they talk to you and make jokes and have goes at you.
It was unique and interesting.
Yeah.
And my recommendation is, if you like me, maybe play it in like 1 hour bursts or something. But that's typically not how I like to play games, though. So it's like, but yeah, it's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. But,
no, Gunplay was fun. It was creative. And again, the humour and the writing was decent as well. I think for this one, it's coming to Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, it's there as well on Ultimate. Yeah. I think they've added some new alien guns and / characters in. There's a skateboard mechanic in it now, so you can traverse around a bit quicker. Probably, I guess, returning characters like Knifey and some of your guns that you might know about. Probably new boss fights, new alien planets, and just that expected humour. I
feel like they set the formula with the first one, and they're going to like basically follow the formula again, just with a new cast of characters, new story. But it's going to be, I'm expecting this to literally be the second High on Life game. Probably might not even follow the same story. It might do, but I don't know.
Yeah, and just in time for Valentine's Day, 8th of February.
Sit down with your loved one and play some High on Life. Crimson Desert, Chris, March the 19th. This is pretty high up in my wish list for this year. Where are you sitting on this?
I think mine is way on the reviews, because I'm kind of have the vibe at the moment. I'm ready for like a Witcher-esque experience, especially with some of the news we'll get to later on in the show. And this is, since the beginning, I think this has wowed us since the first kind of trailer was shown off, and it's got that, I feel like, that energy behind it. The zeitgeist of the industry is backing it. They are a proven quantity, because remember, you've got Crimson Desert. Is it online? Crimson Desert?
It's Black something.
Crimson Black Desert. So there's basically there's a counterpart online, and they initially said this open world action adventure game was tied to that, and then they kind of redid the marketing and said, no, this is purely single player, which is when I feel like it got this like massive lift. So
it started off, I think, as an MMO sequel, but then they decided to drop the MMO bit and focus on the single player narrative stuff.
So Pale Abyss, I guess, known developer at this point. They've got a proven track record with their online world, and everything we've seen from this year, gameplay looks fun, it looks stunning. It is very much The Witcher, from what I'm gathering, but you know what? It's been that long since we had a Witcher. I think if it even gets close to the quality and the storytelling,
it's similar to The Witcher, but it seems to be enough of its own thing that it doesn't feel like a cheap clone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's got some Final Fantasy kind of like merging modern things with fantasy, which is sometimes quite jarring visually, but it makes the world a bit more unique. So yeah, I just hope it plays well, and if it reviews well, I think this is one that could very much jump to the top of my purchasing lists in the spring.
As we sit right now, I feel like this could be the Expedition 33 of this year. Like that one where everyone's keeping an eye on it, and then it actually lands. Yeah, probably even in a bigger way than people expect. Yeah, I'm just getting a feeling about it. Especially when a lot of open world action RPGs nowadays lean more towards the Souls-like genre. To have something lean less that way and more like a Witcher, I feel like there's a lot of people who don't like Souls-like games, but I like myself, like I feel a bit deprived of a game like this, because any open world action RPGs have been pretty much went Souls-like. So I keep looking and go, oh, that looks Souls-like. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, Souls-like. As soon as you see the overlay with like the flasks and stuff in the bottom and the big boss fights, and like, I'm not spending 10 hours banging my head against the wall to fight that thing. I'm just not interested.
Yeah, there's definitely something with the HUD and the option to like do little gold diamonds as your objective points and stuff. That's like, stylistically they know what they're doing. Even the font they're using and like your objectives and your mission. Yeah, it's like you're going for that look. So
too much. I think a lot of the time, it looks sometimes they look too much like they've been made by like the Souls team. Like, but anyway, Pragmata, 24th of April.
Pass. I think Pragmata, for me, it's one that I'm sure it'll do well, but there's something about that creepy little doll girl that's with him. I just don't. Whereas you look at Crimson Desert and think like, I could have some of that. Pragmata, there's something about it. I look at it and just go like, no, I don't know why.
Yeah, it looks to me like kind of Dead Spacey. I've got my eye on it, but it's not a priority game for me.
Yeah, this is one. It gives me like Stellar Blade vibes, where I'm sure the action will be fun and it'll probably sell loads. It'll be really popular, but I don't know. It's just like a merging of like two things that I don't think my brain can process. Why you've got all this super high tech stuff, and then you've got a little Yoda girl backpacking around who has powers, and it's like it doesn't feel believable or grounded enough for me to really care. Which is such a weird way to approach a like it's a new IP, so I applaud them for jumping in, Capcom, and trying to do something new.
I feel like it's like a combination of Dead Space and Death Stranding. And again, I feel like it might be the reviews. If this comes out 10s across the board, I might go, I'm going to give it a shot. But if it's 8, I might just go, I'll go play something else.
I mean, the deluxe edition comes with the fluffy cat outfit for the little girl, or the mech builder outfit that looks like Bumblebee.
I'm not buying the deluxe edition.
You get Diana's gesture pack.
I don't like deluxe editions and stuff like that, because sometimes you get improved weapons to start the game off, which I think is a bit game breaking, and it's like it feels like I'm cheating in the early hours. And then the other thing is cosmetics, which I don't mind messing around with cosmetics in games. I don't want to pay extra for them though. So I never look at a deluxe edition and go, oh, that's the one for me. Only if it was like on sale and like £2 cheap, like more expensive than the base version or something. It's like, what's an extra £2? But even then, I might just not bother. So
yeah, that's fair. Speaking of sales, while you're in there, I'm just looking at Pragmata on the Steam store. Apparently, Detroit Become Humans down 90%, down to £3.39. Right now.
That's a bargain. I've never played it.
That's great. It's fantastic. It's the best. One of the best.
It's the best game ever set in Detroit.
Oh yeah, probably. It's like a Telltale game, but if Telltale had a budget,
all right,
I would say. But yeah, it tells a really good story about like android and clone android robots, and it's a bit like the movie I, Robot, where it's like, should we accept them in our life? Like, are they becoming sentient? And because it's got decision-making paths, it tells like 3 specific character stories. It's got like, I guess, segregation and racism between androids and people, like because they are your slaves, for lack of a better term. They have like their own area on the back of a bus for picking people shopping up and stuff, and they have their own bus stops, and it's like it's basically segregation all over again, but with androids who we've created. And you've got, I think I think Kara's the girl in it. She's been brought in as like a nanny for like a dickhead guy's daughter, and he's basically like a domestic abuse twat. And then the android has to go through this process of like, if I'm protecting humans as part of like the 5 laws of robotics or whatever it is in iRobot.
Asimov's 5 laws.
Yeah. Like, what do I defend the little girl, or do I, even though the dad owns me, kind of thing? And then it basically branches off into like shit happens and stuff goes wrong, and the chips in their head actually make them independent. And that, then are they people? And does society have to deal with that? So it's got quite a deep meaning, but it's got quite fun gameplay mechanics, and like it's stunningly beautiful as well. So if you've not played Detroit Become Human, these are the Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain people as well. So like really like acclaimed developers. These are the ones who were doing Star Wars Eclipse. So this is the last game they did back in 2017 or whatever. So
that's a
they need to pull
gap.
the finger out.
Yeah,
they need to pull the finger out. But you know, for £3.39, that is an absolute bargain.
Oh yeah.
So
007 First Light, Chris, is actually in the news because it's been delayed to the 27th of May. And we have a statement. Hello, everyone. Today we are sharing an update regarding 007 First Light, as we have decided to move the game's release by 2 months to the 27th of May 2026. 007 First Light is our most ambitious project to date, and the team has been fully focused on delivering unforgettable James Bond experience, bringing together breathtaking action, globe-trotting, spycraft, gadgets, car chases, and more. As an independent developer and publisher, this decision allows us to ensure the experience meets the levels of quality players deserve. And they're going to say, basically, the game's playable from start to finish, that it's purely just polish that they're trying to do here.
Yeah. I don't mind. I think it's pretty much an exactly 2-month delay.
Yeah.
To the date. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see this more frequently. Now we know, I think, where Grand Theft Auto lies in the year. I think that gap now between like March through till November, there's a lot more wiggle room, and I can see a lot of developers now basically looking at their calendars and going, right, we've got these windows of opportunity where we can now slot into, knowing that GTA is taking up that November slot. I could see Marvel's Wolverine coming before. I can see First Light. I basically feel like the year where it was all truncated at the beginning of the year, it can start to breathe and spread out a little bit more now. And I think First Light being delayed by 2 months, I don't think there's an ideal time to release a Bond game. There's no movie tie-in worries. There's no anniversaries to strike up on. So I'm very much under the impression of, you know what, The game looked great in the trailer they showed off. It did look a bit framey and janky in a lot of the busy scenes with like lots of explosions and characters going on. So an additional 8 weeks of just honing in that, I think can only be a good thing.
Yeah, to be honest, I do feel as well that this kind of needs to be a hit to kind of get the industry backing these styles of games again. Because we haven't really had a hit in this kind of style, this kind of linear third-person action-adventure game since Uncharted. Maybe you could argue, I can't remember what came first, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Uncharted Lost Legacy.
I can find out.
I know, technically, I suppose Last of Us kind of falls in this category a bit, but I've put that in a bit of survival horror twist as well. But this kind of like linear action-adventure, they're just not very common anymore, which it's a shame that like companies aren't backing these styles of games.
Yeah, when they do so well. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was 2018. Uncharted Lost Legacy was 2016.
So yeah, since Shadow I don't think did as well as the other ones, did it?
No, that one was made. Was it Rise or Shadow that was made by?
I think it was Rise. I think was the one that was locked on Xbox initially. But because of that, it also damaged Shadow's sales, and I think it's only retroactively people appreciate it.
Yeah, and it was Shadow that was made by Square Enix Montreal, or was Crystal Dynamics did the main two.
Yeah, then it was Shadow that was made by
Adios Montreal.
Adios, yeah.
Yeah, and then they went on to make the Guardians of the Galaxy game, while Crystal Dynamics went and made the Avengers game, which is great. The Guardians of the Galaxy game is fantastic. We'll never see a sequel, which is such a shame. But surprisingly good. And so that means like Uncharted 4 is a decade old now officially. Now it's 2026.
Yeah.
As well. And it still looks better than most things you'll play this year.
So I do feel like IO Interactive take the time to get First Light right, because this could be a regenesis of the kind of genre, or the death of single player James Bond games for another decade. So no pressure, guys.
But, yeah, I mean it's take the lead. You're completely right in saying like I think we've had such an absence of these style of games and Bond and probably other IP similar to Indiana Jones. They lend themselves to that genre that I think as gamers inherently a bit of adventure, a bit of action, a villain, a mythos to follow, or some secrets to uncover. It's like it's perfect for video games. It literally is perfect, like 1-to-1. It just like an action blockbuster summer movie. It ticks all them right boxes, and I think you've got IP that it's been going for so long, and I think we saw that in Indiana Jones. It's like, you know what, you don't need Harrison Ford, you do not need Daniel Craig to tell a great story, because video games can do that now with such great fidelity and resonance.
I think the advantage of James Bond especially is uncoupling themselves from the movies is probably the smartest thing they can do, because there's been so many actors play Bond to this point. They can create their own Bond with his own backstory that takes from all the books and takes from the movies, but doesn't retread them stories and tell your own James Bond story. And if a movie comes out and it's completely different in tone, in terms of, and the portrayal of the character, no one cares.
Yeah.
It's not a tie-in. Like, I think not making this a tie-in movie is probably the smartest thing they could ever do. Because otherwise, because James Bond films are a bit hit and miss. Usually alternate between a good one. Yeah, every one.
Again, we said before, whatever the next one is,
you don't want to be a Quantum of Solace.
Yes. That should be the best.
Yeah.
GoldenEye was Pierce Brosnan's best. Casino Royale was Daniel Craig's best. Yeah. So therefore, the next Bond movie will be the best of the next generation.
Yeah. Indeed.
We'll see.
Saros, Chris, any interest?
I should be more interested, but then this goes back to what I was saying earlier in the show about choosing my battles. And I think on another day in the past, I would have thought it's Sony, PlayStation First Party, it's Housemarque. I love Housemarque. I'm there day one, buying it. But then Returnal kind of had me in that Souls like die again, retry was the whole premise. And they have said with Saros, the reason they kind of didn't do a Returnal 2, but it's in the same kind of same guise and universe, but this one is if you die you can come back, and I think they may be leaning more towards a PlayStation audience, for lack of a better term, and saying like, we know Returnal was maybe a bit too tight on the screws. This one's going to be a bit more action heavy and fun, which is back to Housemarque's, I guess, tried and tested method.
But it's still that you go for a run, then you die.
Bullet hell.
Then you die. Then you can any upgrades you get are permanent this time.
Yeah.
But then you can start again. But then it's procedurally generated, so you do it again and rinse and repeat until you get there. And it's just a style I'm just not interested in.
Yeah, I think
I appreciate
if the reviews
it
come
for what it is,
out,
but, yeah.
I think if it reviews really well and it's at a quiet gap, because when Saros got delayed as well.
It did. It's April the 30th at the moment.
April. So again, I'm trying to just visualize the calendar ahead, because April will be here in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
The snow will melt, the calendar days will pass by, and we'll be there all of a sudden going, how is it spring already? Yeah, Saros, I think if it hits well with the audiences and reviews well, I think I could, and I'm not playing anything, I could be turned, but I'm also a bit more patient now, so I might also think, well, there's other games that are coming out in 4 weeks that I can hold off for.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's probably other stuff that to play in between. If you
There's a
need
back
something to play in
catalogue.
between.
Yeah, there'll be PlayStation Plus games drop, there'll be surprises, and there's always that nostalgia that creeps in where you're like, how about you just go play something that you're familiar with?
Well, yeah, and you don't know how big Crimson Desert's going to be. That could be over 100 hours. So that might push
exactly.
you. Might push you straight into like April anyway.
Yeah, Helldivers could drop something that pulls me back in. Like
Yeah.
you genuinely just never know. So I think Saros has to do something to get me, because as it stands, I think I'm all in on Requiem. Crimson Desert on the fence with, 007 First Light all in with. So I think it might be like one or the other. I
feel
think
like
Saros at the moment is the other.
Saros might be one of them games where I think the gameplay looks incredible, and I might pay attention to like YouTube videos and stuff that explain the story and what's going on to get like the kind of feel of the game without having to play that rinse. I just don't like that rinse and repeat death stuff. It just doesn't do anything for me. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, May the 29th.
Yep. All about. Got a date on that during Game Awards. I haven't played a Lego game since the Skywalker saga, which was actually very disappointing for me in the grander scheme of it.
I think it looks amazing, but I feel it's been pushed down my list because of the delay to 007 First Light. So
yeah, quite possibly. I think they're a week apart now, are they?
2 days.
The 2 days?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So
I
am
am playing First Light, yeah.
Yeah, so this is no longer in the running for me to play day and date because of First Light's delay.
Why
But it was
that?
previously. But because I think it looks cool.
I mean, they are definitely separate and different enough that I think you could possibly get away with playing these at the same time and just jump around, but that's not how I like to play. Commit to one now.
Yeah.
But it'll be one that maybe I'll just benefit from picking up a month later a bit cheaper.
Yeah, I feel like
Bond.
this is probably going to be a PlayStation Plus sale at some point. It's 50% off, or it's even a PlayStation Plus game. Like
I have no doubt I'll play Lego Batman this year. It just depends on how long and how much I enjoy First Light to get around to it. But it's great to see that we've just got another Lego game, because we had Lego Horizon Adventures, we've had Lego Voyages, but we haven't had a true TT game, Lego game, since the Skywalker saga.
And I don't feel this is in the same vein as the traditional TT Lego games. I feel this is more of an interpretation of Arkham Asylum, but in Lego form.
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to get the whole.
Everything.
You're not going to get the original TT. He's 50 characters, a bit of an open world.
Well, they said there's only 8 playable characters, right, as well. So that alone refines the gameplay a lot more.
It's closer, I think, to Lego Horizon than a traditional Lego TT game. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad way for what they're doing with it. I think there's space for everything, to be honest.
I'm looking forward to running around in an open world Lego Gotham, because we've had it to a degree in like Lego Batman 2 and stuff, but it was limited by the consoles of the time. Whereas I think now, if they're going full on Arkham, like Arkham City style, like let us traverse that fully. Yeah. So yeah, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight looks great.
Yeah. Control Resonant, Chris. We haven't got a date for it yet, but it is meant to be this year.
I think August. I think they'll drop something some point in and around spring. I could see it being at Jeff Keighley's summer showcase, and I think back end of August. That's traditionally when Control came out last time.
Do you think this could be at an Xbox event?
I don't think they've like aligned themselves with any marketing beats, so because they just do everything with Jeff Keighley, don't they? They don't kind of market themselves to one console. I think if it was going on Game Pass, it would be Xbox, but I feel like it does lean more PlayStation, and just in my own mind's eye.
It does feel more like I know what you mean. It feels more like a PlayStation game, but that might be why Xbox want it.
Yeah, quite possibly. I think Control could like sneakily be like everyone's like Game of the Year. I think Control 1, the first one, it won loads of Game of the Year awards. It surprised a lot of people, and that was before I even really took any proper note of Remedy. But having now been fully indoctrinated into the Remedy universe with the Alan Wake games, and then now Control as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the run up, I hope it's later in the year because I want to play Control this year, and ideally I want to try and squeeze Alan Wake 2 in there, and potentially go back and get the Platinum in Alan Wake 1 to really engross myself in that universe before Control Resonant.
Yeah, if I could take everything I loved about Control and everything I absolutely adore about Alan Wake 2 and think like you have that, you know, when people say like, oh, if I could wipe my memory and enjoy something over again, like you are in for one hell of a year if you manage to get Control and Alan Wake 2 in the lead up to Resonant.
But neither of them are huge games.
They're not really, no. You could probably finish them in 30 plus hours, give or take, if you're not bothering with a platinum run.
I probably would want to try and go for the platinum.
Yeah, they're not overly hard either, to be fair, in terms of platinum. I think Control was surprisingly easy.
Yeah, but if it's a case of, right, I have a month and a half to play Control and Alan Wake 2 before Control Resonant, I may just go, sod it, I'm just going to play through the stories in both games and get to Control Resonant. But we'll see what happens. Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis. This is the remake of Tomb Raider 1.
Yep, snuck up on us this one.
In this one.
Yeah, same. It was, again, hadn't really thought of it, but in that void of lack of Uncharted, as you mentioned, the polish they've shown us, the way Lara moves and looks, and I haven't played the first Tomb Raider game in 30 plus years.
Yeah.
And again, as a kid, I don't think I really understood it. Like, I remember I probably only really played the first 2 levels, couldn't get any further, didn't understand the traversal or what was really going on. But she jumped around and she could shoot dual pistols and do side hops and backflips. So it was fun. And then I remember playing loads of Tomb Raider 2, again, not really understanding it. I'm pretty sure the way I played Tomb Raider 2 was I used the cheats for all the weapons.
Yeah.
I jumped around the opening 5-10 minutes of every level, and then when I died, I just bounced out to the menu and jumped back in because I was, 7, 8-year-old?
I feel like
didn't really get it.
There is story there, but I don't think the story is the way they tell stories in games now. I think it's like kind of the beginning of that. Like, if you think about like the storytelling from like an Uncharted, it took a lot of the narrative ideas from Tomb Raider, but put them more front and center. So there is story there, but it's largely still your kind of early PlayStation, just level-based game. Your job is to get from one side of the level to the other, basically.
Yeah. However, with the way they're describing this on Crystal's website, of it's a retelling of the story, I think if they go full Resident Evil on its ass,
I think they're going to.
And give us character moments and development and intrigue and puzzle solving and amazing cutscenes, this could like suddenly shoot up there with like, hey, you know what? Tomb Raider's back.
I think this is going to be, because there was talk before of a game that bridges the gap between Shadow and Tomb Raider 1. I feel Legacy of Atlantis is going to be that game.
Yeah.
Where I feel like it is going to link back to the original to the Shadow of the Tomb Raider like arc. And then also tell the story in expanded detail of Tomb Raider 1. This is probably going to be Lara's first true solo outing after Shadow. But
clever to give it a name as well rather than just call it Tomb Raider. Because they did that with the 2013 reboot. The original one was just called Tomb Raider, but I think adding a title to it just adds a bit of mystery, allure, and also, I guess, understanding that it's going to have a story. There's no point calling it Legacy of Atlantis if you're not actually going to explore what that means to Lara as an archaeologist and the impact it could have on the world. And everyone knows the tale of Atlantis, so I think it's a cool-ass name as well.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm just reading a bit on the wiki page. So, in this original ending, it's talking about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. In this original ending, some scenes that were later removed include one showing Lara's dual pistols and a letter from Jacqueline Natler in Calcutta, India, Lara's nemesis from the original game, so Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which Lara picks up to read after finishing her own letter to Jonah, where the ending concludes. So
all right, okay.
They're already thinking about this when they were doing Shadow.
Yeah.
But then obviously, like, Crystal Dynamics has changed hands a couple of times. Things probably got a bit messy behind the scenes. But now they feel like it's settled back down. And this is published by Amazon, actually. So it'd be interesting to see if they do kind of reintroduce that line of thought.
Yeah. Did you even know the first game was about Atlantis?
Nope.
Because I didn't either. I'm looking at the back of my OG box that I've got here, the Platinum one. It says, adventurer Lara Croft has been hired to recover the pieces of an ancient artifact known as the Scion. With her fearless acrobatic style, she runs, jumps, swims, and climbs her way towards the truth of its origins and powers, leaving only a trail of empty tombs and gun cartridges in her wake. On this trail are the most breathtaking 3D worlds yet seen, where exploration, puzzle, and platform elements blend in a seamless real-time environment. It doesn't even really say...
It doesn't say anything about the story. It's just you've been hired. You've been hired. That's it.
Tomb Raider, and then it's like featuring Lara Croft as well.
They were really going into like making it a sex symbol in the marketing, weren't they? Wasn't she like plastered all over like PlayStation magazines, and it was like rumors you could like it was a cheat code to make her naked and all that kind of crap.
Yeah. And of course, this is the original one as well, so it's made by the developers of Core, who then went on to become other things. So the Crystal's not even included in these ones. But 1998, Eidos Interactive.
Yeah.
But Tomb Raider.
Fable, Chris. This one I think needs to be at the Xbox next showcase.
Yeah, I'm one I think we've said many times on this show. In my head, when you say Fable to me, I can't picture jack shit. I can't picture box artwork, characters. I know it's something to do with fantasy, but in my head, I just picture a fairy for some reason. And that's it. So I'm like, I'm ready to be wowed. I'm ready to be brought into this new world. I'm ready to subscribe to Game Pass and play it. But they need to do something because it's been like how long? I think even fans of the series are like, is it real? Is it not real? We haven't seen any gameplay yet. We just got that that funny trailer with Richard Adeoye as a giant.
Yeah,
like, it's got that British whimsy, but it's like I need to see it. I need to see what it is because, quite frankly, at this moment, Fable means nothing to me other than being a word.
It was meant to be, I think, originally come out last year.
Yeah, so it should be ready to go almost.
Yeah. So and then it got delayed. It got delayed. At the start of last year, it got delayed, so it's not even a new delay. So it's like,
yeah,
I think it is time for Xbox to really get this game out and get a showcase like later this month, early next month. Make Fable your big star for that showcase to kind of go right. You're going to play this year and probably end of the year or something.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's got to be the biggest one at the Developer Direct, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we've not really speculated about the Developer Direct, but Fable has to be. You'd imagine they might want to show Forza.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the course. So with like a Forza, you kind of expect it's time for a new Forza game.
Yeah. And then I don't really know what they're going to show off at this year's one. But I think Fable needs to be their big one.
Well, they've got Halo Campaign Evolve, which was announced last year. But I think Fable is probably the big one that they want to like put a lot of focus on for this year.
Yeah.
Again,
what does Fable mean for you?
I know by reputation that I think from the original Xbox generation it was like a beloved game. But I've never played it. I've never really seen any gameplay of it. That's why I'm interested to see what it is. And hopefully it'll come to PlayStation.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm looking at Xbox's website now, and when we looked at High on Life earlier in the episode, it had like a full breakdown of like images and screenshots of like what to expect. Fables is literally just an overview of like Albion, I think is the world, and then a castle on a hill. And it just says, a new beginning. What does it mean to be a hero? Well, in the fairy tale land of Albion, this is entirely up to you. With a dark threat looming and a world where your reputation precedes you, your choices will change Albion forever. And then it goes on to talk about ways to play Game Pass, Series X, and controllers. So like they haven't even got anything beyond a sentence.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that should we be worried?
I feel like it might be one of them RPGs where your choice in the game does really impact how the story plays out, which might be the complexity of why it's needed such a long delay, because it's a difficult game to make to do well.
Well, we know it's Playground who are working on it, right?
Yeah. Who
usually do Forza, so this is their, I guess, first step away from racing games.
And it's a big change, that really. They haven't been like, okay, we're going to try something smaller first. Let's just go big open world action RPG, beloved franchise that really is going to be a tentpole for Xbox for this year, probably.
Yeah.
Good luck,
we know
guys.
The world's going to look gorgeous. It just is, can they get the nuance in storytelling? Because the racing cars don't really have stories.
Yeah.
It's not Cars, the movie.
But it is a remake of the first game, isn't it? So the story should be there.
Maybe. It's an action role-playing one, so do you create your own story? The kind of website makes out like it's your tale to tell.
I thought it was a remake, and it's just how the story plays out. Depends on your choices. But I don't know.
Well, maybe we'll find out the developer direct. But yeah, they need to do something to really kind of get my interest back on track.
Yeah. Reanimal? Any interest?
Yeah, Reanimal's it's the guys who did Little Nightmares. It's Tarsier Studios, basically spiritual successor to Little Nightmares. So if it lands around Halloween time, I'll be into it. Looks great. Hopefully free of the shackles of the Little Nightmares story, they'll be able to do something a bit unique. But I'm expecting, just like Inside and Limbo and Little Nightmares, it's a known quantity. I know what to expect. It'll be fun and probably a reasonable price. But yeah, in and around Halloween, if it drops, I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, I'm quite happy. Just appreciate this one from afar, to be honest. Nothing against the game. I just don't see when I'll fit in. Even if it was around Halloween, like, I just don't understand where that's going to fit into my life with all the other big games that I want to play this year. Likewise, Replaced.
Yeah, well, Replaced is the kind of 1980s cyberpunk 2D, 2.5D shooter, isn't it? So I don't think this will be that long of a game, but I think this is the one that just caught a lot of people's eyes from a visual standpoint.
It looks cool. And I bet it's fun. I just don't typically have time to play games like that when I'm too busy spending 100 hours in Octopath.
Yeah, it strikes me as one that'll probably be one of the year's like indie darlings. It's like, Replace is just like visually music made by 10 people. Be great.
Meaning the Hollower, though, is a game that I'm very much keeping a very close eye on. Because it reminds me visually of a Game Boy Zelda game. It has that exact art style, and that just immediately... And it's from the guys who made Shovel Knight. So it's like, immediately I'm going, ooh, what's this?
Yeah, Yacht Club Games, not done anything for seemingly 10 years other than support Shovel Knight in various guises and Plague Knight and all of the other kind of DLCs. And credit where credit's due, they stuck to their guns with their Kickstarter campaign, and they did everything that they promised. I do feel like after the huge success and the millions they made, they probably should have just said, you know what, I know we promised this about the Kickstarter, but we could really just make a sequel to Shovel Knight rather than keep going back, because it's such a small team. It took them so long. They did a port to the Vita, they did a port to this and that, and it's like, you know what, it's actually, I feel like in a way it's hampered the studio from moving on. And then we're getting Me in the Hollow, which, like you said, looks great. It's such a Game Boy, modern Game Boy game. I
feel though, if you've done a Kickstarter campaign, you've made promises, you have to stick to them, otherwise your reputation's in the toilet.
True, but then if you could get a sequel out, if you were a fan of the game, do you want more DLC because it was promised 5-6 years ago, or would you actually just like a whole nother game?
True, but the people who invested in to make that game have paid for that to happen. So you have to do it. If you said you'll do it, if you hit a certain goal, you've got to do it. Otherwise, I know what you're saying. It does hamper them making a Shovel Knight 2, or maybe making Me Near the Hollow 5 years earlier. But people have paid for that. So, and if you're renege on something like that, your reputation will be in the toilet. You don't want to become one of these people who use Kickstarter to raise a load of money, then just go, nah, we're not doing that anymore. So,
I know, but it's been 12 years.
Yeah, But
12 years. Like I played Shovel Knight on the Vita. Like when I was actively using my Vita. That's how old were we 12 years ago?
Yeah. It might have just took this long as well to come up with another concept that they were happy with. They might not have wanted to do a Shovel Knight 2.
They're probably already rich as fuck anyway, so why
it seems
not?
like,
Mina the Hollow looks fantastic. I'm glad in a way they haven't done a sequel, and they've always said Shovel Knight they would go down a different retro gaming route, and I think going with the Zelda 8-bit visuals top down, I think could be great. I'm sure with a little character of the mouse in it is going to be fantastic. I don't know what a hollower is. Is it like someone who digs?
I don't know. The blurb is talking about it's based on the writings of Edgar Allan Poe and stuff. So it's got a kind of horror slant to it. So it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. Likewise, Marvel's Wolverine. I cannot wait for this game.
Insomniac again. It still baffles me that we sit here and Insomniac have put out 3 games on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Like this will be Miles was a launch game, wasn't it? Miles Morales.
Yeah, then the Spider-Man 2.
Then we had and Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank.
So they've had 3. This will be their 4th game on this generation. And
Naughty Dog haven't released one if you discount remasters.
Remakes. I mean, come on, Insomniac, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm excited for this. Actually, one of the games I'm going to play this year in the lead up to Wolverine is Wolverine Origins for the PlayStation 3.
Oh, cool.
Because that game is apparently fantastic. Even though it's a tie-in movie to the worst Wolverine movie of all time, the game is apparently fantastic. It's ruthless. You get shot to bits and you're down to almost like adamantium skeleton and you can re-heal. So it's like proper action hack and slash for on point of a term gameplay. And PS3 games hold up. I've played a few over the last years, haven't I? And they're so good. So the fact that I missed that one at the time and now it's highly revered, I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like the PS3 era is when games no longer really need a massive graphic overhaul. As long as they run smoothly, you can get away with it. PS2, maybe depending on the style of the game. But most PS3 games, if they were done well, you're absolutely fine just playing the PS3 version. Star Wars Galactic Racer?
It depends. It needs more pod races. Is my take on it, and I need to know more about what the deal is, because if it's just a online racing game that's going to throw skins and battle pass, season pass things at me, I could be put off very, very quickly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's I feel like this is going to be a Forza or something like that, but with a Star Wars skin over it, which is cool, but every time we've played a game like that, you go on, there's a million different menus, a million things to unlock, and it's I'm going to have to spend about 30, 40 hours just to unlock things that I want to actually play, and it's but I also don't want to tap the credit card because I've just spent a lot of money on the game. This is absolutely a PlayStation Plus game for me. If this is on PlayStation Plus, I'm going to check it out. But I doubt I'm going to drop any money on a racing game because I'm just not into them.
Yeah, I think it got a lot of hype at the Game Awards, but I think that hype was exaggerated because of
because it's a Star Wars racing game.
It was, but also the Fate of the Old Republic kickstarted the show, so I think everyone was riding high on the Star Wars juice of Fate of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic, can't wait. And then we got another Star Wars game. It was oh shit, and everyone remembers Star Wars Episode 1, Pod Racer. I think it was just called. No one remembers the bombastic, what was it, the one on the N64, Star Wars Pod Racing Bombastic, where you were little minifigure characters.
I don't know. I know there was Pod Racing was on.
Bombad Racing, was it? Bombad Racing.
Yeah. Episode 1 was on the N64, but I didn't know there was another one.
Yeah, have a quick look at Star Wars Super Bombad Racing. My cousin had it on the N64. Everyone looked like, the football bobblehead collectors.
I'll see if I can find a video. Oh god!
So yeah,
as soon as I look at someone's video, the thumbnail, of Darth Maul.
Yeah, they all had massive heads with little tiny ships, and it was basically
they've made a kart racer. That's what it is.
Kart race, yeah. And it was fun. So yeah, bring back. Forget Star Wars.
Yeah, I can see the fun in that.
Well, bring back Super Bombad Racing.
Yeah, or put a mode in Bombad Racing mode.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Bombard season. Good luck every June. We just get it.
But games, because I'm just not a games as a service person, season passes just make me roll my eyes a bit. It's like, I don't want to keep bringing new content. Like, I'd rather just buy the game, play the game. I am old now. Like,
you old as shit.
Yeah. Halo Combat Campaign Evolved. Sorry, not Combat Evolved. Where are you standing on this, Chris?
I'm playing it 100%. I think as long as it doesn't drop at the same time, just like Gears of War, I'm all about checking out Xbox exclusives on another console and maybe get the platinum if it's not ridiculous like the Gears of War one. I think just for the novelty. Like, I enjoyed playing through Halo when we first experienced it a few years back. I have a vast appreciation for the franchise, everything it's done. I think it's definitely fell off over the years. It's one of those franchises that's done nothing but wane over the last 10 years, as I guess the Xbox brand has. And if I get to see it in all its Unreal Engine glory, and they've tweaked it a little bit, and they've added the campaign, they've fixed that horrible library room we got stuck in, going back and forth.
Which they have commented on that.
Yeah. Which I'm all there for. So, yeah, absolutely. I think as long as it comes in at that right price point, where it's, I think Gears did, where it was only like 40 quid, 42 quid or something.
I don't think it will. Gears was a remaster rather than a remake. This is meant to be a full remake. Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be a 60, 70 quid game. And I'm not sure I'm in for it, you know. It's because we played Halo fairly recently. It's like, well, and it was fine. I wasn't fully that overly gripped by the story or anything. I don't remember walking away from Halo 1 and 2 and going, I'm desperate to play more Halo, know more about that world. And when I can see why people enjoyed this back in the day. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm just not hot on it right now. And that may change as the year goes on, and it also would depend on what else is out around it. Right. But if I reckon it's going to be the back end of the year, and I think it's going to be a busy back end of the year. So I think there's going to be about half a dozen other games I'd rather be playing than Halo.
Well, the elephant in the room with that is, of course, is Halo's... Well, Xbox's anniversary is like the 15th of November, which you would imagine if they're going to either launch a new console, launch a new game with it, whatever that looks like. There is the reality where GTA is locked in for the 19th. So you get whatever hype Halo may or may not have... It's such an... I can imagine the heads up Xbox and Microsoft are like so annoyed. It's like, we've got our anniversary, we're going to celebrate, we've got this amazing, beautiful, stunning remake of the thing that started all. Do we go before our anniversary date and just have a more subdued actual anniversary? Because, let's face it, anyone who's picking up Halo, chances are they're in the same mindset. They're going to pick up GTA like 3 days later.
Or you just be bold and just go sod it. We know GTA is coming out, but we're going to release Halo anyway. You might adjust the expectations. You're not going to see that huge day one spike that you'd have liked. But I reckon if you're interested in Halo, you are still going to buy Halo at some point. I feel like that's something the industry needs to probably adjust to a bit, where you don't necessarily have to focus on the opening Windows sales. Look at Control. It took a few years for it to become profitable. And now, and because of it, everyone was really hyped for Alan Wake 2, and now everyone's really hyped for Control Resonance. You can be a bit patient. You don't have to get out of GTA's way. And I think it's the best thing would be for a few companies to go, actually, I don't care if GTA is coming out.
But they won't.
Yeah, they won't. But talking about GTA, where are you sitting on this?
Day one. Again, my expectations are it's been so long. I'm beyond both caring and I'm immensely hyped at the same time. I'm in this like weird middle ground of just there's more than enough for me to play, but I'm not going to miss out on it. So I'm there day one. I'll probably play all the campaign. I still suspect at this point GTA Online, just like with the last one, will probably be delayed into 2027. So we'll get the game kickstart all off back end of the year, and I could see GTA Online being pushed to maybe the following March or April, just to give them that extra time. So it wouldn't surprise me if we get to the summer and GTA gets bumped again to 2027. At this point, I'm just like past the point of caring, where I'm like, I know I'm going to play it, and I know that half the world's going to play it, and it'll be visually stunning, and it'll have like the best golf game, the best tennis game, the best racing, all under one roof.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like, I'm there for it, but I'm almost like over the hype because it's been so long, we've seen so much of it now.
I'm just not hyped at all for it. I have basically zero interest.
You don't like stealing cars?
I think GTA games are a bit of fun, but I've never been that into them, and I just feel like GTA 5 of how big it is, but it's largely, when I see how big it is, it's always like Facebook shop videos of people doing backflips in cars, and I'm just like, okay, fine, I'm not interested. So I am a very, very low interest in this game. I know it's going to be probably the biggest game of all time, but truthfully, I just don't care. And it's kind of, as someone who's not interested, it gets annoying when practically every game that's come out this year, people go, oh, what about GTA? What about GTA? I don't give a fuck about GTA. I don't... And the world does. But I think it's going to be... Truthfully, I think it's going to be a big line share of the sales are going to be kids on the phones playing it, and I'm just not into it. So...
Kids on the phones. You sound like such a curmudgeon old man.
I am. It's because...
I am.
We haven't actually seen anything about the game, really, that shows why it should be so anticipated, apart from the title. If this wasn't called Grand Theft Auto 6, I don't think anyone would be paying that much, anywhere near as much attention. So I'm waiting to see what it is about Grand Theft Auto 6, not Grand Theft Auto 5, that makes this game special. And truthfully, I do feel like I disagree with you, where I feel like the multiplayer is going to be even more integrated than previous because of how well GTA Online has done for them. I do not think that they're going to miss that being in day and date.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
interesting.
Yeah. I'd much rather play Pokemon Wind and Waves, to be honest.
I mean, that's my next big hype. That's probably the next thing I'm going to buy on my Switch, which makes me think, like, why do I even own a Switch?
Yeah.
We don't really know what Nintendo are doing for this year ahead, really.
As it stands, this is the game where I buy my Switch. Because I don't know what else is coming. Pokemon ZA is now in the background, and I don't feel any... If my house had sold in the summer, like autumn, on the run up to Pokemon ZA, I probably would have bought a Switch. But now I feel like I'm going to wait for that next must-play game on the Switch for me to buy a Switch. So at the moment, it is Pokemon Wind and Waves. That's probably that game.
And we know, as far as we know, that's not even official yet. That's from the leaks.
Yeah.
So, but we know it's going to be Christmas. It's going to be.
It's usually November. Game. It's usually around about my birthday. Pokemon games come out.
Yeah, perfect. But yeah, all the games that we've gone through today, similar to the Xbox situation, like there's nothing really on the Switch that I'm going to get / or want. Like Lego Batman would probably be fantastic on the Switch, and it would be more than competent enough. Tomb Raider possibly, but again, back in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm going to just play that on it. Mina the Hollow is probably a fantastic game for the Switch.
Yeah.
So is Reanimal, so is Replaced.
But I'm probably playing that on PlayStation.
But I'm probably going to play it on PlayStation. So again, it's back to weird how we kind of spent the last couple of years, I guess, spreading out and playing things, and how we've gravitated right back towards PlayStation. Yeah. Which speaking of, I've actually just...
But I think for the Switch, though, more than the Xbox, the Switch has always been an exclusive platform for me.
Yeah.
Xbox was kind of that. It was like 50-50 for a while. But since I moved in with Nat and I got the Portal, I've very much switched back over to PlayStation. And Xbox has become an exclusives platform again. But then they're bringing the exclusives to PlayStation. And sometimes I look at it and go, well, if Fable comes out... And I definitely want to play Fable at some point. And if it comes out this year on Xbox and next year on PlayStation, I'm probably happy to wait.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah.
In amongst all that as well, I just want to inform you, I have purchased Star Wars Super Bombard Racing.
Nice. You're going to do a retro hunt for it?
I was, but against my own rules, I've been doing just PlayStation games at the moment. However, when I looked at this one, there's a bundle where it's Star Wars Super Bombard Racing and Star Wars Racer Revenge, which is actually in the news this week, I believe. for £15 for both of them, and they both look like they're in great condition. The manuals, the brochures, the boxes are all immaculate, and it's got like an hour left on it. So I thought,
oh, sorry, I'm going for it.
It's like it's not only is it a double pack of 2 games that I don't have, but they look like they're both in good enough condition, and for the price, it's basically like £7 a pop. It's worth it doing it. So rather than like get the camera out, do my usual research, try and get the best price, look at the disc quality, like all the stuff I do in the episode, it's like, you know what, some of them you just got to bite the bullet and buy it there and then. And that's what I've done. Yeah. Super Bombard Racing on its way to me, so you may see it on next week's episode.
Talking about Star Wars Race and Revenge, you mentioned it's in the show. What's going on with that price? So I'm reading from Eurogamer. Prices of an obscure PS4 game are skyrocketing thanks to the latest PS5 jailbreak efforts.
Mm-hmm. So
this is one you had to use late today, so I haven't actually read the article.
Yeah, it's basically it got a re-release. Like the PS2 games all got ported, and we saw Episode 1 Racer and a couple of others, and Bounty Hunter and a couple of other Star Wars PS2 games get a port with trophies, some of them as well. Limited Run Games did a physical re-release back for the PS4 of this, so there's like very few collector's editions. They look great back in 2019. But apparently why it suddenly became it's gone on eBay for like 300, 400, 500, 600 quid, some of these copies. One of the developers, apparently it jailbreaks the PS5's version up to version 12. So basically you can get into the PlayStation's like matrix, which is like gold dust for hackers and security and everything else. Apparently there was only 8,500 copies that were produced, so they're definitely out there in the real world. But yeah, if you want to go into the PlayStation 5's guts and insides and whatever you want to hack into it, I'm sure PlayStation are no doubt going to patch this out if they haven't already done it by today.
I mean, I've always respected limited run games, but do you think they get annoyed when people are effectively using their because they are limited releases of all games? It's effectively, if you're a scalper, you pay attention to what limited run are doing. And scalpers just need to be slapped. Like, if you're a scalper, fuck you. You make everyone's life worse.
They do.
Yeah. Buy a game if you want the game. Don't buy it to sell it.
But yeah, it's just wild how like technology is so expansive that it's just a game that came out 6 years ago can somehow get into a PS5 behind the scenes. Yeah.
It's just because version 12 of the PS5 is an upcoming thing. So I wonder if it's just a bit of like crappy code that's just...
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Anyway, talking about PlayStation Plus games for January, Chris. We have Need for Speed Unbound, Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed, and Core Keeper. Bit of a weak month.
Yeah, Kickstarter. Yeah, I mean, Need for Speed's Need for Speed. If you're into Street Race, and you've probably already got this. I did a first look on the channel for... Need for Speed Unbound. Just look more. I think we haven't had an EA Need for Speed game since, so it clearly didn't do too great. But it played well. It was fun.
To be fair, Epic Mickey's is quite decent as well.
Yeah, I actually started Epic Mickey on the Portal a couple of weeks ago. Annoyingly enough, because they did, when they introduced the cloud streaming part, I thought, I want like a small thing, and I never played it first time round. But I'm a big Disney fan, so it was like I'll give it a go. It's got a lot of history and Easter eggs to do with like just like Disney in general, and it looked great. And
it's quite dark for a Mickey game. Actually,
it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, but then again, so's like some of the old Disney stuff is really dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sod's Law, I think I popped one trophy on it, and then now they're going to tell me there's a PS4, PS5 version.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward platinum because there's multiple replays where I think one of them where you have to like paint the world in darkness, kind of, and the other one you have to clean it up. And you have to do certain boss fights in certain ways to get trophies and stuff. So it's stuff like that you have to do.
Yeah, it's Disney's... Basically, what they've done over the last couple of years is obviously just rebrand and remaster all of the old licensed games. We saw like the Lion King and Aladdin, Mega Drive titles and NES titles kind of get repackaged. We've now seen this, so it looks like they're just going through their old library of games and just remastering them, which I don't mind. But yeah, hopefully we'll probably see Epic Mickey 2. Was it The Power of Two? I think that one was called, where basically him and Oswald the Rabbit from this one team up to clean up.
Yeah,
as such.
Something like that, yeah.
Core-Keeper, I have no clue what it's about. I think it's a like Spelunky game.
But
digging, survival.
Yeah. We have some sad news actually next. A co-creator of Call of Duty and Respawn Entertainment, Vince Zampella, has unfortunately died in a car crash in December.
Yeah, it was just before Christmas, I think. And obviously we were all checked out of the news in the industry. But yeah, he died coming out of a tunnel in LA. I think car collided with a barrier, resulted in a fire. I think he was announced dead at the scene. Which, for those who don't know who Zampella is, he's basically been one of the kind of trailblazers in the industry for quite some time. He co-founded the Call of Duty franchise. In recent years, he's been kind of the studio head at Respawn Entertainment. He created like Titanfall, Apex Legends, and then he went on to do the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order series, Jedi Survivor. Recently led the charge on Battlefield 6's turnaround this year. So he kind of rose up and he became almost like the go-to figurehead at EA. And arguably, you could say that he's probably the spearhead that's made EA's kind of not likability, but like success turn round in a lot of things. He's had his hands and he moved up the ranks, of course. I know he's at Respawn, but I think he changed to a director of something at EA in the last couple of years after Jedi Fallen Order did so well, where I think he's had a lot of power in the direction of EA. And I think you and me kind of overseeing the industry's news for the last 6 odd years, I think we've probably seen EA's fortunes and likability turn around quite a lot. They've got back to what makes EA good, and between Ubisoft's demise and such, I think EA have kind of benefited massively from this trajectory.
Well, yeah, and he's definitely been a big part of it. When we started Sounds of Stadia like 6 years ago, EA were kind of just starting like a redemption arc where they was just constantly involved in like loot box controversies, doubling down on games as a games as a service. And it's kind of really actually Star Wars that I think is the pivot point for them as a company, where they actually started making single player games again. Their reputation is slowly being improving. After Star Wars Battlefront 2, that they were in a shitstorm with loot box and like loads of controversy over like the amount of loot box stuff in there, the amount of cost it would cost to unlock characters, and how basically difficult it was before the game launched. I think it was Jedi Fallen Order that really kind of showed EA and the world that EA can produce good games that do not feel exploitative again.
Yeah,
Apex always came out and did well as well. So it's not all just anti-games as a service stuff. Battlefield 6 feels like Battlefield has having its own redemption with Battlefield 6. So the industry has lost like someone good here.
Yeah, just to read from EA's statement they put out, they said it's an unimaginable loss in our hearts with Vince's family, his loved ones, and all those touched by his work. His influence on the game industry was profound and far-reaching. A friend, a colleague, leader, and visionary creator, his work helped shape modern interactive entertainment and inspired millions of players and developers around the world. His legacy will continue to shape how games are made and how players connect for generations to come.
Yes,
yeah, absolute legacy. And R.I.P. Vince Zampella, unfortunately.
And our thoughts go out to his family and his colleagues and everyone who knew him personally.
Indeed.
Final story of the week. Witcher 3 getting an expansion this year, Chris?
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Well, yes, stranger things has happened recently.
been and gone, season 5.
I need to watch it still, actually.
Vecna is in The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Confirmed. When did The Witcher come out? It was like 2013, 2012?
Something like that. It's ages ago.
So long. Witcher 3 release date May 19th, 2015. So the same year as Uncharted 4.
Yeah. So what's going on then? There's just rumours at the moment.
It kind of is rumours and it isn't rumours. So initially there was an individual who's kind of like in there with the industry, who was speaking on a podcast where he said about there's information relating to them putting out new content with new stories and an expansion rumour. And he, according to the source, he's verified it by several independent sources at the same time. Yeah. So he doesn't have any more information, but he does point towards a earnings call that CD Projekt Red had, and they quoted in their earnings call, because again, CD Projekt Red are quite transparent with like I think they go down in the granularity of like how many employees they have working on the game, the hours put into it, the financials, In that report, it said, given our progress, there is a chance that new content hinted upon in recent calls and reports may see release in the coming year, having an impact on our results and increasing the likelihood of achieving the earnings condition for the first stage of the incentive program. It's vague, but it sounds like they have an initiative to kind of drive Witcher interest leading up to the release of Witcher 4.
Yeah, I wonder if there is this rumoured DLC, because it will be... It's basically about 10 years since The Witcher 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this might be something to bridge the gap between Witcher 3 and Witcher 4? Like
it's one of them, yeah, where...
Like an epilogue, because The Witcher 3 had multiple endings. Do you think this will be a new canon ending that actually serves as an epilogue?
It might be a bit like Phantom Pain. Ground Zeroes, where it's like this little interstitial thing to just, like I said, bridge the gap. Shows where Geralt's at, shows where Ciri's at. Not detrimental to the start of The Witcher 4. I think it's more just if you play it, it adds a lot of context. If you don't play it, it's not the end of the world. But it seems like it would be a smart choice. I think The Witcher, more than anything, has benefited from the cross-show synergy. I think we've had a new book launch just back end of last year. The TV show did what it did, but we saw the game sales skyrocket every time a new series came out.
I feel like if the TV show, though, once Henry Cavill announced his departure, the interest very much died off.
It did, but the games, no doubt, even when the new series just launched on Netflix, I still think the game will have seen a boost in sales. So if from a marketing standpoint, they go like, what are our campaigns? Do we do marketing, TV, advert tie-ins, live action? Do we go to the game shows? I think a smart bit of marketing, if you can afford it and you know how well the game sells.
You know what could be cool? If they do this as a free DLC. Oh, right. Or maybe it's like a kind of like a PS5 kind of version. That kind of thing where with a bit extra content, like to get people replaying The Witcher 3 on the run up to The Witcher 4.
Well, we got the Switch release, didn't we?
Yeah.
There's the PS5 Complete Edition is a thing. You can pick it up for 15 quid from Argos right now. So they have been there, done that.
But just something to re-dip into The Witcher 3, the world of The Witcher 3, to get people playing it again, to get people excited for The Witcher 4.
Yeah. I think it could be a good move. Again, 10 years later, video games can do anything. What did we see? Age of Empires got full expansions with new clans and people over a decade later, and it just keeps something alive. And I think if you can, I think it's clever marketing. And it would certainly pique my interest to think, you know what, ahead of Witcher 4, when the marketing really starts to ramp up for that, heading into probably 2027, it might give you that little itch to go, you know what, go back one more time. Yeah. But you can get that platinum finally.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, God, yeah, I never got the platinum. I need to get the platinum.
You've got like one full playthrough, isn't that all you've got to do?
I think there was a few cards. It might be a few miscellaneous trophies, but it's one of them where you realise you have another full playthrough to do.
Yeah.
So it's like a few of the miscellaneous trophies you just can't be bothered with. But anyway, that is all we have time for this week. We like to round up every single show with this day in gaming history. Starting on January the 3rd, Chris, is there anything that jumps out at you at probably an awkward time to release a game?
Nothing on January 3rd.
Yeah, literally nothing.
Literally nothing. I mean, there's games out, but nothing of note. Nothing on January 4th.
January 5th, do we go that far? South Park Rally on the PlayStation.
The original Darksiders came out on PS3 and 360 16 years ago.
That was a...
Yeah, be a substantial
I feel like Bayonetta was a thing for a while, then it just went quiet.
But yeah, skipping ahead, there's not really... Again, the whole industry shuts down, doesn't it? So
yeah.
I wonder if January is the next time developers should go like, you know what, we'll go in January.
Yeah.
Nothing else comes out in January.
A lot of people might have that Christmas money burning a hole in the pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just nothing. I'm up to like 8th of January now, so next week's show is going to be equally as dead. But yeah, nothing.
Oh well. Nothing of note, but that is all we have time for this week. If you've liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you keep in the loop with all amazing content here at GamerGuildTV. Follow us on socials, or maybe consider joining our Discord. All the links that you need are in the description below. Thank you very much. My name's been Richie.
I've been Chris.
GG everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.